Hello, great people. Are you there? We are not still done on Ijele. No, we are not done yet. Now you are going to see the greatest of all exposition on what Ijele said. In fact, that video Ijele did is an opportunity for us to coach other Nigerians. And we are ready for anyone who wants to oppose what we are saying here. Yes. Because I realized in the video we did in response to Ijele, some came to the comment section to oppose what they don't know. Meanwhile, none of them could really argue confidently against our points. Now and again, Ijele, you don't know what you started, Ijele. In fact, we are back to do exposition on that again. Ijele said Igbos are consigned or restricted to just 5 Southeast states. And they don't have any link to the Atlantic Ocean. And that there is, he talked about Orash River being built. I don't want to repeat that video. We are going to go to countering its threat. You need to listen, in case you're challenged with those nonsense Ijele put up there, you know what to answer people. And that is why we are here again. This is Igbo Area TV. This channel talks about and defends Ndi Igbo. Whether in Nigeria or Biafra, anywhere, the focus of this channel is Igbo defense. Talks about Igbo. And this channel does not discredit other Nigerians. No. We respect other Nigerians, but specifically, we talk about Ndi Igbo here. Yes. And we're going to go into Ijele's matter again. Please tell Ijele to come and respond to this if he feels he has knowledge, which I don't think he has. Yes, he's myopic. He's not he doesn't have what it takes to respond to this. But if you think he has what it takes, let him come. We are ready.
Okay, this is Milo's Corner with Igbo Area Television. I want to debunk the lies of this self-hater called Ijele. First of all, we need to look at Ijele's background. He was deported from Turkey, talking about other people. So we need to know who we are listening to. Was sent back from Turkey, and they sent him back to Nigeria. So since that time, he started anti-hatred. He started what we call auto-hatred. You know how you drive a car and you have automatic. This one is auto-hatred as a result of his failure. Now, he's talking about Biafra, that it is a dot in the circle. Well, Ijele did not go to Turkey to go to school. He went to Turkey hustling on the street. Ijele is not an intellectual. If Ijele was an intellectual, he could have realized that Singapore and Israel are very small country, and that is the same characteristics of Biafra. Not small in size, but huge in human capital. Huge in human capital. Very advanced human capital. And also very advanced in foreign reserve. Biafran foreign reserve is 1 million times bigger than that of Nigeria, because a lot of Biafrans are in diaspora, especially in Western country. And if you add their aggregate savings, the aggregate savings of Biafrans in Western country dwarfs Nigerian foreign reserve, including Nigerian oil reserve. If you look at the remittance of foreign exchange to Nigeria today, 80% of it comes from Biafrans living abroad. Okay, so that's very important to note. That place he's talking about is small in size but huge in energy. Now, I want to show where he's making a mistake. He's talking about the size, which is fake. There was a white man that showed map of the world. He says that the map of the world is wrong, that Africa is depicted small, that Russia is depicted big, but Africa is Russia plus Europe plus America. But they make Africa small. That is a psychology. The same thing in Nigeria here. They make that Igbo land small, and when they draw it, this is not the actual drawing. It is much bigger. Now, in the so-called South, 50% of their territory is occupied by Igbos. He talked about dredging river. Or River Osekwe. Okay? I forget that Igbos live in Port Harcourt. You see the Chinese telling you that Taiwan is China. You think Biafra will leave Igbo to live in any other part of the place? That will not happen. Okay, everybody understands that no Igbo will live outside Biafra. Okay? Igbo is in Benue. Igbo is in Kogi. Igbo is in Delta. Igbo is in some part of Edo. Igbo is in River State. Igbo is in Bayelsa. Igbo is in Cross River State. He didn't include that in the map. Okay, if you include all that in the map, Biafra will have 125 million. What is the population of Japan today that is shaking the whole world? What is the population of Japan? This guy is not an intellectual, he's a failure. And send him back to Nigeria, then he start to preach what we call auto-hatred, start to hate himself. He mentioned the Asari Dagobo that he said is selling Igbos as slaves. Well, ask Asari where he came from. Asari said he came from Abam. So how did Asari from Abam went to Ijo to stay? That is self-explanatory. I don't want to engage debate with somebody vomiting hatred. But the issue of Biafra must be realized because everybody have agreed that the problem of Africa is Berlin Conference. So if the problem of Africa is Berlin Conference, we must undo the Berlin Conference by sitting down and say, hey, if you want to be part of this entity, be part of it. If you don't want to be part of this entity, you need to go. I had Asari talking, let the Igbos go. We will never allow them in Nigeria. Once Igbo go, there will be no Nigeria. It is Igbo that is holding Nigeria together. Once Igbo leaves Nigeria, Yoruba is gone. Once Yoruba leaves, TV is gone. Just give one local government in Igbo land the freedom to live. Not all Biafra. Just say, okay, Anyoma local government in Delta State, go. Once they leave, Nigeria is over. So that one, Asari is talking, he's just talking. And that's why after he finished talking, he reminds everybody that he's from Abam. So Asari is playing two games. He's living in two places. He has two passports. One passport in Ijo and another passport in Abam. So Asari is a dual citizen. So he's playing a very good game. Either way he goes, he's there. He made mention of the Nigeria will block the waterways. No, the Nigeria cannot block the waterways. If you look at Japan, Japan is an island. Korea is a peninsula with water. But all the trade between Korea, Japan, and Europe, we go through bottleneck. What is that bottleneck? Suez Canal. Why didn't Egypt block Suez Canal? This self-hater here doesn't know that there's an international treaty about waterways, that you cannot block waterways that other countries using for commerce. You see in Ethiopia, the water that is coming from Ethiopia, Egypt is contesting it because Ethiopia is building dam. So they have to sit down and work out a deal about that water flow. Otherwise, the Egyptian will have said, no, Ethiopia will not build a dam in the water that exists in their country. But Ijele is not an intellectual, so he doesn't know about that. Biafra will station Navy. Biafra will put investment in Navy and station it in Atlantic and also station it in that waterway and be willing to confront any nation that intervene in that axis of trade. Just like United States of America is willing to contest anybody who wants to block Suez Canal, or anybody who wants to block Panama Canal. So all over the world, you have bottlenecks for ship passages. That is why you have international regulations and rules about it. And I know Nigerian government or whoever that is in that area knows that there's an international law as to the maritime of one nation to the other. So they're talking of blocking is not there. Port Harcourt is in the ocean too. Iguacha is in the ocean. Okay? So these are I'm discussing, because what he's referring here is Igbo Biafra. So I'm just discussing Igbo Biafra here. Can Igbo Biafra survive? Yes, it will survive, because Igbo Biafra has everything that it takes to survive. Now, in terms of mineral resources, the largest deposit of gas recently found in Nigeria that dwarfs any gas deposit in Black Africa is in Igbo Biafra. The largest deposit of coal in the whole world is in Igbo Biafra. If you go to South Africa, Sasso Corporation of South Africa, Texaco Corporation of United States of America in Beaumont, Texas, are all converting coals into petrochemicals through the process of what we call coal gasification. That's a shell oil in Abakaleke, from Oba to Nsuka, highest grade of iron, hematite iron, that will give Biafra the same heavy industries like Busan Steel Corporation of South Korea, making Biafra to be one of the leading steel exporters of the world. The largest deposit of limestone in Black Africa is in Nkalagu. That will give Biafra limestone to make cement, plus metallurgical cement, which they will produce from that huge hematite iron. In Okigwe clay, bauxite, aluminum in Ebony State, uranium in Ebony State for Biafran nuclear industry. Massive brain that exists of Biafran stock that exists in world-class universities today in Europe and United States of America. When Biafra call, they will arise. Billions and billions of dollars in Biafran savings account abroad today. When Biafra calls, they will pour it in. Ibariam in Anambra State, Ibariam only can feed the whole of West Africa. Ebony State, Abakaleke can feed the whole of Africa with rice. What else do you want? Let my people go. And Ijele, go and nurse your wound. You went to Turkey instead of going to Istanbul University or University of Ankara. You were picking and fighting with IPOBs. You went there and called the police for them. The police turned around and arrested you and sent you back to Nigeria. Since they send you back to Nigeria, you become what we call auto-hatred, auto-hating. You start to hate yourself. Now you bring in Asari into the game. Asari is playing double game. Asari has a job passport and ABAM passport. That is why we are not taking him serious. So in conclusion, Biafra is viable. Biafra is viable. It has complete raw materials. It has the land space. Biafra is bigger than South Korea. Biafra is bigger than Israel. Biafra is bigger than North Korea. Biafra is bigger than Malaysia. Okay, in terms of land size. I'm talking, when I say Biafra here, I'm talking about Igbo Biafra, because this is a self-hater called Ijele. This self-hater called Ijele is talking about Igbo Biafra, because he was not including the other Biafra. So our discussion is limited to Igbo Biafra. That does not mean that the other ones are not Biafrans. It's up to them if they want to follow. But we are talking about Igbo Biafrans. Now it becomes very necessary. I'm talking to Igbo Biafrans. You need to start drawing the Igbo Biafran map. When you draw Biafran Federation, you draw the Igbo Biafran map. It must include every place in Nigeria. Igbos are native. There's no discussion as to who is Igbo. You see the Chinese. You see the Chinese. There's no discussion as to whether Taiwan is China or not. They are willing to use nuclear weapon to get Taiwan. They have warned United States of America that Taiwan is China. There's no discussion on that. There's no discussion. We know where Igbos live. So we are not into discussion about hey, who is Igbo and who is not Igbo. We know where Igbos live, and all of them must be in Igbo Biafra. So it is very important when you draw Biafran map now, you draw Igbo Biafran Federation map in the Biafran map, so that everybody will get it clear where Igbos live. We will never leave our brothers outside, whether they think they are Fulani people or they think they are Europeans. That one is their business, because Taiwanese now is not thinking that they are China, but China is telling them, hey, my mother and your mother is the same mother and father. So I want Igbo Biafrans to know this. The reason why Igbo Biafra will emerge, one of the most successful black nation in the world, Carthage, massive amount of brains of Igbo stock is residing in the United States of America and European top technical scientific universities. When Biafra calls, they will arise. There is no area of sciences and technology they are not involved in. Massive amount of foreign reserve in terms of savings. 80% of the money, foreign money sent into Nigeria today, come from Igbo Biafrans. We have the raw material, we have gas, we have agricultural land. I mentioned a few, about yam, Anam. If you go to Anam and plant the yam it grows bigger than you. The yam sometimes come out 6-7 feet. Yam tuber from Anam. Otuacha, and I don't even want to mention Nekede, Uzuwani, to mention but a few. Agriculturally, Biafra is sound. We have Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is in the ocean. Then we have the Osekwa River. It's in the ocean. Biafra will station highly advanced navy, both in Atlantic and in the waterways, and willing to use any weapon to challenge anybody who who contests that waterways. Within 5 years of independence, Biafra will emerge a nuclear state, and we will declare it and make it clear to the world. It will be a first strike strategy to save our sovereignty. Nobody will contest with Biafra. Biafra will emerge a nuclear state within 5 years of independence. We have the scientists already to do the work. It is this nonsense Nigeria that is holding everybody down. That's why we are saying, let my people go. Don't listen to this self-hater. It's not an intellectual. He went to Turkey, started attacking his brothers, and he was the one that called the police so that the police will arrest his brothers. The police came there, checked him out of Turkey, they arrested him and sent him back to Nigeria. So they allow him. What he's doing now is that he runs around the television, insulting his dead grandmother, his mother, and his daddy, talking rubbish. He talks about Asari. Ask Asari, how did he leave Abam to get to Ijo? Can he explain to you how he left Abam and get to Ijo? He's the one that said that he left Abam to Obosi, from Obosi to Ijo. So ask him, why did he make those move? And how did he get to Ijo land? That's what you need to ask him. That's why he's keeping 2 passports, one Ijo passport and the Abam passport. So we don't take him serious. These guys are not intellectuals. It is intellectuals that lead the world. Biafra have the scientists already with experience. They are working now in American, European, Chinese universities, hands-on working. Biafra have huge foreign reserve. Biafra don't need to borrow money from nobody. All they need to do is call on Biafrans to arise. And once they declare Republic of Biafra, all those money will be sent back to Biafra. So anybody telling you that rubbish, tell him to go and measure the size of Japan, measure the size of South Korea, tell him to go and measure the size of Israel. You see, the whole of Arab world, how many million? 800 million. Israel is only 6 million, and hold them at a bay. No military power, including Africa, can attack Israel at one time. That's the same thing you will see in Biafra. It's a conclusion, a special note to Ijele. Stop your auto-hatred. No nation will block Biafran waterways, because within 5 years, Biafra will be a nuclear power, and we will have the doctrine of first strike doctrine to safeguard our sovereignty. So no nation, no mad nation will try to block Biafra because they know the consequence. It's just like going to block United States of America or going to block Russia or going to block People's Republic of China. You must be crazy. Or going to block Israel. You must be crazy. You can block Nigeria, but in Biafra, you block that waterways, you will pay dearly. A nuclear state, you will pay dearly.
Have you heard that from Milo's Corner? We have nothing to add more on that. That is just our message. Hoping to see Ijele's reply. Then we are ready to defend what we said here. Yes. Ijele, we are waiting for your reply. Reply us. All the self-haters in Igbo land, reply. We are waiting for you. You know, there is a current trend. I was in a particular group, like I told you, a WhatsApp group. I realized that bulk of Igbos there, in fact, it's mainly an Igbo group, and most of the Igbos there are self-haters. I was just studying what was happening. I correct them when necessary. People who are just out to defend other ethnicities and hate themselves. And I'm not saying Igbos are the best. You know, God gives us various gifts. There are areas Igbos are taking the lead. Other ethnicities have their own places that they are, they are leading. And I'm not saying Igbos are perfect. We are not perfect. We are humans. We are not perfect. But to allow some people to go out there to ridicule Igbo, to always make Igbos look culpable, guilty, no, we will not tolerate that. So we're expecting replies from all self-haters, including other ethnicities who are not confident with what we've said. Please come, because a lot of people are, who God has blessed, you cannot curse. When you realize God has blessed someone, you can join his team or keep calm and, wait for God to bless you. I don't have any apologies for anybody for being an Igbo. I found myself an Igbo and I don't regret it. And I'm not going to apologize to anybody for becoming an Igbo. And this is where we draw the curtain on this one. Please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more updates. Bye-bye for now.